Dear Sir or Madam. Dear Hiring Manager. Hi, Betty. Do you feel like you have a winning resume but don't feel so confident with your cover letter? Maybe you've never even written a cover letter. There are plenty of times when you are applying for a job through an online portal and you are not asked for a cover letter. However, if you're given the option to submit one, you should. It's another opportunity to sell yourself and tell the hiring manager why to consider you. On the other hand, if you are applying for a job that directs you to email your resume to HR, or maybe a friend has recommended you to a specific individual, you don't want to send a resume without an introduction or narrative. It's important to include a cover letter to introduce yourself, get your application to the right person or department, and expand upon your resume. Introducing yourself and your skills through a cover letter is critical. Don't waste it. Stay tuned to learn some of the biggest mistakes job applicants make when it comes to cover letters and how you can avoid these to create your winning cover letter. For the best job search and career advice, please hit the subscribe button below. I post new videos every Monday and Thursday. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Kelly, a career coach and professional development specialist. I've spent the last 2 decades mentoring job seekers through the application process. Today, I'm going to give you some insight into cover letters to ensure you get the attention you want from possible employers. I've worked with thousands of job seekers over the years, and the advice I'm going to give you today has helped them create impressive and winning cover letters that stand out. All right, let's get started. Mistake number 1, lengthy letters. One of the biggest mistakes job candidates make with cover letters is that they're too long. If you've watched my video about creating winning resumes, you know I recommend resumes should be no longer than 2 pages as a general rule. Similarly, limit the length of your cover letter to 1 page. Again, there are some exceptions to this rule, but they are few and far between. You don't want to waste the hiring committee's time, so keep your cover letter short, sweet, and to the point. Speaking of the person who will be reading the cover letter, mistake number 2, inappropriate salutation. If you have a specific name you've been given, address the letter to that individual. At the very least, between the company website and LinkedIn, you should be able to find out who the director of HR is, in which case, address it to that person. You can also call the company and simply ask for the name of the HR manager, or even better, the name of the person who heads up the department you'd be working in if you got the job. Addressing the cover letter to a specific person shows you've done your research. On the flip side, starting it out as Dear Sir or Madam, or to whom it may concern, can be a turnoff. Also, please be sure to greet the reader properly. In most cases, you should say Dear Mr. Smith or Dear Miss Jones, not hi, not hey. You aren't bar hopping buddies, so err on the side of being a little bit too formal as opposed to too familiar. Mistake number 3, failing to mention the position. Your first paragraph should mention where you saw the job advertised and the name of the position you're applying for. If you have a vacancy number or job post ID, include that as well. If you've been recommended by a friend, you can say that. And if you've met the hiring manager at a conference, make sure to mention that in the first paragraph as well, because it can prompt the reader to remember the meeting and have a face to put with the name on the application. Mistake number 4, referring the reader to your resume. Obviously, they're going to look at your resume. Well, they may not look at it if the cover letter is a turnoff, but in theory, they should be looking at your resume. So saying, please refer to my resume to see my past jobs that relate to the open position does not add value. Repeating your resume also doesn't give the evaluator anything extra either. Instead, use the cover letter to take the information from your resume one step further. For instance, let's say you're applying for a customer service position. You would want to highlight past customer service experience in your cover letter and showcase your achievements and success. That helps the recruiter imagine how you could be a valuable addition to their staff. Here's an example. During my 5 years at XYZ company, I was a customer service representative responsible for ensuring on-time and accurate delivery of orders to our corporate clients. By proactively communicating with suppliers and customers, I established high-quality relationships with stakeholders, resulting in lucrative long-term contracts. Now, this statement does not say that 100% of deliveries were made on time or were in the perfect condition. Sometimes that's completely out of your control, But it does say that the customer service was excellent because you proactively communicated with all parties. So everyone involved knew what was going on and they were all happy because they understood the situation and what to expect. Mistake number 5, not demonstrating your interest in the company. You never want to admit you're unfamiliar with the company you're applying to. I once read a cover letter that said something to the effect of, "I've never purchased anything from your company or even been to one of your stores, but I'm very interested in this job." I kid you not. I'm sure there are plenty of young interns who have never bought a Lamborghini or a Versace dress, but they apply to work for Lamborghini or Versace because they know the product and aspire to work for the brand. Demonstrate your interest in the organization, particularly by showing your relationship with it or how you relate to their company values. There are plenty of people who apply to work at Disney who have actually never been to a Disney theme park, but they say things like, "I grew up watching Disney movies and have always wanted to be part of the magic." That one word, magic, shows the applicant really understands the Disney brand because that's what the entire company is built around. Mistake number 6, using a standard call to action. It's always good to include a call to action for the reader. Saying, "Thank you in advance for considering my application. I look forward to hearing from you," is a standard call to action. But you can take this one step further by telling the reader you would be interested in being considered for other options within the organization. Most recruiters will look at a cover letter and resume, and if the position is already filled, or perhaps you didn't meet some of the required criteria, they will simply reject your application. But there are a few select recruiters who are savvy and will think, "This position was filled yesterday, which is too bad because this is a great candidate. But wait a second, this person would also be a great fit for this other job in another department." Now, if you point out in your cover letter that you are interested in other positions within the company, that may cause the recruiter to start thinking about how they could use you elsewhere. This is a great technique and one that I always encourage anyone I work with to use. I've actually had several clients of mine apply for one job and then get offered a different job in the same company because they encourage the recruiter to think of other opportunities they might be well suited to by including this one sentence in their cover letter. What about you? I would be interested to know if this has ever happened to you. If you had an experience like this where you applied to one job but were offered a different one, please comment below and tell me about it. This covers the biggest mistakes job candidates make on their cover letters. However, there are a few other details to keep in mind when writing cover letters. If you would like to see a sample cover letter template, I've written a guide which you can download in the description box below. I hope these tips help you as you move forward with writing your cover letter and throughout your job search. Also, if you're interested in joining a community of job seekers like yourself, I have a Facebook group where I share advice related to all aspects of the job search process and career development. Join the Facebook group in the link below. If you like this video, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe and share it with your friends. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.